Hello, my loves. I am just popping on because I wanted to bring forth a quick message. This will not be a long live. We're in this weird space and time right now because we are around sometime on Friday, a portal opened. A portal opened up, and that's just a portal is just an energetic alignment that allows for a particular amount of influx of light and codes to come through, and it's like turning the hose on full blast, right? So we get these injections of high intensity light codes, and so this was a purification. This month is a 10, which is completion. So we are literally wrapping things up. We're clearing out. There's a lot of solar plexus energy happening. But we're in this void of time because it's so hard to put into linear words, but around Tuesday, the full moon portal is going to open. So today and tomorrow we're in some kind of weird void, but the energy and intensity is super intense. So a lot of times people say around Halloween time, the veil gets super thin. Well, I don't believe there is a veil. And what I am shown is there is not a veil. And that's my perspective. It's the perspective I'm given by my team. The reason why it seems thinner is because people are more open to supernatural things happening around Halloween. It's just a human conditioning that we have that happens. But this isn't even part of the message. This is just coming through right now. But because of the awareness or the veil being thin, right, if we're going to go with that linear terminology, we're going through these intense third eye activations right now as well, and heart activation. So if you feel a lot of heart fluttering, if you feel a lot of palpitations, things like that, high rate of speed, this is just a time for you to stop and get really present in your body, because this energy is super ungrounding, you guys. You can get vertigo really easily, dizzy, lightheadedness, nausea. You can even, end up throwing up. Or you can be, the other aspect of that is you can be super wired, they call it wired and tired, where you're so exhausted, but you're like buzzing because you have so much energy running through you. Another reason why we get excessive thirst, because water is a conductor. And so we have to drink a lot of water, and we use lemon water because lemon is something that purifies your blood. It also purifies all your fluids within you. And so I'm always telling you to drink lemon water. But so when you experience excessive thirst, it's because there's an influx of energy and it needs help moving through your body. But what they wanted to come on and talk about, really, this aside from all of this, is what is physical versus non-physical. And this is coming up. And I was literally driving back from an errand. I haven't put makeup on. I wasn't planning on doing a live today. And they're like, we need to talk about physical versus non-physical and what that really means. Because a lot of people get stuck between 3D and 5D. What is 3D versus 5D? We live, things are physical. We live in a physical environment. And I want to try to make it as simple as possible. So there's levels of consciousness, and consciousness is something that expands. We don't ascend consciously. We're never ascending consciously. What's ascending is the physicality, okay? And our body is physical. And as you always hear me say, that our body is what's ascending. Our consciousness is what is expanding. So as we expand our consciousness into 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, whatever dimensional consciousness, what we're doing is we're literally like opening the doors and windows of our brain and our mind and our concepts of what we put in boxes. We're putting all that down. We're opening all the doors and windows, and we're allowing for information to come from where it needs to come. And we're seeing more perspectives. Literally all the doors and windows are open, and it's not like you need a key to unlock that door. You have to go through this door. It can literally come from any door, any window. It can come from any direction, right? But when we have, so that's the baseline. That's the first part of this. And so understanding that, what we also need to understand is that we do currently live in a third dimensional plane of existence, which is very much a different thing. So a third dimensional plane of existence is something that allows for things to be held together in a physical form. So what is physical versus non-physical? So let me give you an example. Only thing that makes me have a human body, makes this dense, makes anything like this wood physical, hard construct, right? Our homes, our cars, the computer that I'm talking to you through, whatever, is focused intention. So anything in your life that you focus enough intention on creating, what you're doing is calling billions and billions and infinite amounts of light codes, light particles, aspects of energy into a certain direction. You're bringing it all together. And in a third dimensional plane of existence, when you call on the energy and you focus your intention, it makes something physical. It vibrates so high and so tightly that it gives the illusion of physicality. Okay. So again, we are, as a collective, moving from a third dimensional plane of existence into a fifth dimensional plane of existence. Now, will that complete in our linear lifetime? I have no idea. I can't tell you if that's actually going to happen. But what we are on a trajectory to do is move back into how our bodies were meant to be designed, which is shape-shifting ability, the ability to change our physicality very, very quickly in a very quantum way, right? Not in a very slow motion linear way. Because again, we are moving from duality into unity. So we're moving away from a mirrored reality, which is law of attraction based, right? I am you, you're me, into unity. This is going to take some time. It's not going to happen in 2 years. It's not going to happen in 5 years. We are going to see huge, significant steps in that direction because consciousness itself has already made that turn. It's already gone back into a state of unity. So again, slow motion replay is what's happening here. So when you think about something from a physical, human 3D perspective, I want to challenge you to drop the 3D. And what I want you to, I want you to challenge your mind to see something as physical and realize that all that physical thing is focused intention. Okay. So again, on my TikTok, I posted a video today about this, which is manifestation. Don't believe everything you think. Thoughts become things, right? As we've heard that. If you've read the book, Leveraging the Universe, I highly suggest reading it by Mike Dooley. It's a fabulous book. But he says thoughts become things. But here's the thing, okay? Thoughts only become things when you give them meaning, because we think on average 80,000 thoughts any given moment, like 80,000 thoughts in a day, easily, if not more, right? It's the thoughts that you attach to and give focused attention to that create your reality. Because thoughts, when you have a thought and you make it mean something, you are attaching an emotion to it. It's always going to be thoughts and then an emotion. The emotion invokes an action. The action leads to a manifestation. 4 steps, always. 4 steps to the soul's evolution, which is the evolution of consciousness. When I say the soul's evolution, that is the evolution of consciousness in itself. 4 stages. There's 4 stages in an awakening. There's 4 stages from the heart, right? So the heart, number 4, we're in a 4-year. It's always 4 is the bridge, right? So 3 lower chakras, 3 upper chakras, right? We're always revolving around the heart. You can go back to some of my earlier workshops and learn about that more. But focused intention. So when you have a limiting belief, a fear, an idea of who you are or what you're meant to be doing or how you're meant to be doing it or how things are supposed to be, or you get stuck in your logical mind or your belief system of this is just how it is and this is just how things are, then that's focused intention. You've created a structure, you've created a belief system, you've created a fear, you've created a reality based upon what you have decided to give focused attention to. So when you focus upon your worries, on the fact that you have bills coming and you don't have any money, fact that your kids aren't behaving, when you fact that everything always happens to you is wrong, you give focused attention to the fact that you're confused or that you don't know what's happening in your life. Whatever you give focused attention to, you create, right? This is how we are the creators of our reality. But again, it comes back to the bare minimum basic understanding of physical versus non-physical. The reason why it's non-physical, right? Why something is still energetic, it's still living in our astral body, it's still just floating, is because we haven't given enough focused attention to it. But the more focused attention, the more light particles you call to it, and the more light particles you call to it, the energy you call to it, and that the tighter it gets, the more compact it gets, the more structure begins to form, okay? And that's why with our bodies, I used to teach back in the day that you're not your body and you're not your mind. which is true, but your body is a very important part of this process, and so is your mind. This is why I believe ego is important and is meant to be integrated and not killed off, right, or rejected. Your body is made up of billions and billions of light codes that are holding a form, because this is the belief, this is the structure you created before you came in here, right? This is your divine blueprint. It's billions and billions and billions of light codes held together. Why do you think cancer develops? Why do you think cysts develops? Why do you think endometriosis develops? It's a growth, right? Why? Focused intention. You're focused on the negative. You're focused on what went wrong. You're focused on repressing and holding and condensing. One of my lifelong missions here is, or lessons here, is to learn to detach, to learn to let go, right? So everything I do is focused on, how can I let go of this? How can I let this flow? How can I let this just be, right? So that I'm not focusing all my attention on something and creating something. Again, anxiety, overwhelm. You're making it all about you. You're calling all the energy to you until you feel this energetic vibration around you that gives you a physical sensation of anxiety or being overwhelmed, right? Or feeling everybody's energy, because again, you're calling it to you. So focused intention. So physical versus non-physical. It's non-physical. It's because you haven't tangibly seen it, touched it, felt it, had all those constructs come together. You haven't focused enough attention to it. You haven't had focused intention. You haven't taken the time to leverage, right, the energy, leverage your time and energy to create the reality that you are desiring. Literally gathering all of your resources, all of your energy, all of your time, and focusing them in one particular direction to create a manifestation. Instead, you're scattered and you have shit all over the place, right? And so that creates chaos. It creates confusion. And so we want to streamline that. So again, I haven't prepared my November energy update, but that's coming. But what I want to tell you, as we've entered into this time where there's going to be that pressure, right? That pressurization that's happening. That pressurization is also kind of the universe squeezing you, going, let me close all these doors, let me close all these doors, and let me get him or her to go in this kind of bring the options down into this pathway. And don't stand there at that pathway going, I don't want to go this way, I don't want to go this way, right? Don't do that. This is your message that's focused intention. The universe is focusing all of its intention on pushing you in a particular direction. That's why you can feel the pressurizing, but you don't want it to explode. You don't want it to pop. You don't want to get springboarded backwards 10 spots because you were in resistance to it so much. Remember, physical versus non-physical, right? Focused intention. What makes this physical is that somebody who created it spent every ounce of their energy focusing on creating something physical. Literally, everything you see, touch, and feel, we have created from focused intention. And this is why we can literally create anything we desire with enough focused intention, right? You really have to believe and take all of that energy to create something. And we created humans because humans are one of the only species that can feel, taste, touch, do all the things that we can do. Literally, if you are in a human body, you are a chosen one. You are a chosen one. You said, I want to take the fucking fast track. So I'm going to go be, excuse my language, I'm going to go be a human and I'm going to go fucking take the hard road and go through all these things. That's it. That's what you chose, because we evolve consciousness itself, but we evolve our soul the most by having a human experience. Okay. Some of us have had more human experiences than others. Some of us are in the beginning of our human experiences, right? Some are on our last and we're like, can't wait to be done with this ghetto ass place. There's no right or wrong here. Again, point of the whole live that they're really wanting me to drive home is what is physical versus non-physical, and leveraging the non-physical to create the physical that you actually want. But to feel that pressurization, of where they're being guided to you and not fight against it. Don't go dragging heels and fighting with it, going, this is not where I want to go. This is not what I see. You might be pleasantly surprised at the directional shift in your life if you let go. And this is a message for me too, because I'm going to be experiencing this right along with you, is to let go and be like, I'm on a boat. I'm going a certain direction. Let's enjoy the ride. I'm going to know when I need to get off. I'm going to know what my stop is, right? So remember that pressurization, these energetic alignments, these portals, it's non-physical energy and it's coming down. It's creating a pathway to kind of usher us into a certain direction of our soul's path. And what becomes physical, what is physical, is from focused attention. So what you focus on is what's created. What you focus on expands, it gets bigger. So just keep coming back to that terminology of physical versus non-physical. Just because you don't see it yet or feel it yet doesn't mean it isn't real. It just means that you haven't been focusing enough energy and attention on that of what you desire. So kind of funnel that into that location. And remember your power, your energy, and the time you spend in silence and solitude, really learning to discern, right? I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more on my webinar tomorrow, which is at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you haven't registered to be in that, check my Facebook business page and you can register to be a part of that. But I'm going to be talking about that more tomorrow, but to discern the voices in your head of knowing ego, higher self, guide, spirit, and feeling your own, I call it sitting in my power. I was talking to my girlfriend today about that, sitting in your power, learning to leverage your power and the energy that you hold to create with, to literally sit there and design with. Like they're just showing me manipulating energy with my hands, right in front of you. So really learn how to maximize your potential, your energy, and create the focused reality that you want. All right. So physical versus non-physical. And just allow for the purging to continue, because we're not done yet. This purging, we're coming into a full moon. It's the blue moon. It's the second full moon of October. October is always a month of heavy purging. We go into November, which is starting the process of the birthing experience, right? And then we come into the 12th, which is the neutral point. The 12th is the neutral point before we begin again, right? So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening, and just enjoy the ride. Don't dig too far into things. Don't get too attached to the emotions. Don't get too drawn into the story. Just get in the boat, become the observer of your reality, enjoy the ride, allow for what needs to fall away to be fall away, because you're being pressurized to go in a certain direction, right? Remember, focused intention creates your reality. All right. So physical physical versus non-physical. That's what they wanted me to share with you today. So hi guys. I actually never seen Lucy, Carissa. I've never seen that. I'm a weird movie person. I've never watched The Matrix, you guys. I've never gotten because to me, it's like, yeah, okay, I already knew that. So I don't know. I've just never watched it. It's never bothered me. Never felt drawn to anyway. So anyway, thanks for hopping on with this short little live, but that was the message that they wanted me to pass on. So I hope that it serves you well and you receive what you needed from it. And don't forget to, there's the thing right there. She just popped it in. Thank you, Corey. If you want to sign up for tomorrow's free webinar, I'm going to be talking about reclamation, which is recalling soul fragments of yourself. It's what we also call parts work, which is how we actually come into wholeness with all parts and pieces of ourselves. We end the inner conflict. And so I'm going to be talking about reclamation and reclaiming and reconciling those parts and pieces of yourself. So join me tomorrow if you feel called to that. Again, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. It will be live on YouTube and on Facebook. But if you want to have access to the replay, because it will come down, make sure you sign up, and the link is right there in the comments. So I love you guys. Have an amazing day.